Good evening, everybody. This is Imran Nanlawala from Digital Learning Partners, and I'm here with my co-host Yusuf Chowdhury. We've taken a long hiatus
I
from
know me. What happened, man?
hey man SEO the series. So just a quick recap, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be continuing with part 11. What is Google algorithms updates? But however, we're going to spend some time right now, Yusuf and I, recapping very quickly some of the things that we took already. For example, on-page and off-page SEO, SEO principles, Google factors, keyword research, keyword tools,
Hmm.
and then we'll continue with Google algorithms. Mr.
Yeah.
Chaudhry, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. How about you? I heard that you moved to Dallas now.
Somewhere in those parts.
That's awesome, which means I'm going to visit you, inshallah, pretty soon. We're neighbors now.
No problem, man. It's a
You,
beautiful
you,
place.
you left that cold city. Now you're back right here in Texas.
Yeah, man. It's
All right.
definitely cold, brother. Can't say nothing other than that.
But you enjoy right now, right? I mean, you're enjoying
Oh
the
yeah,
weather, and
oh yeah, man.
everyone is out enjoying their time too at the park, and
The weather, you can't beat the weather, man.
yeah. We have in Texas we have this bipolar weather, so
It's not so bipolar for me. It's nice. I like it.
you probably
Um,
got used to it.
oh yeah, it's just fine, man. It's just fine to be honest. I don't really see any issues with it. Um, but since we're live, let's start up again.
Yeah.
So SEO the series used to give us a quick recap of the first 10 weeks on page, off page SEO,
Right.
some essential SEO principles, keyword research, keyword tools.
Okay. Let me go and do a quick sprint right here.
Okay.
So, as some of you remember, several months ago, we started with why SEO matters, and the reason it matters because this is how your target audience, your customers, are still behaving when they go online, when they go to like Google or Yahoo. How do they behave? What do they search? And because of that, the user experience and the customer experience behavior, it definitely reflect on how your website is supposed to be built, right? So that's what still matters. Even in 2021, it still matters. Guess what? I mean, some of the changes that came out, I would say like 70% of the stuff is still the same. The only like few things that little bit different, like specifically when they're focusing too much on excessive content right now. The mobile is still there, and of course all these so-called voice search devices, right? So we talked about that why it still matters, and it's still going to matter anyway because this is the nature of the spider, the Google spider, the Google bots, the way it works. It's going to still matter because some people say like, oh, SEO is dead. They don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So that's one point. The second thing, what was the next topic after that? So we
On
talked about
page.
why it matters, right?
Can you see the page?
And actually, no.
It's on the screen.
Really, maybe it's a little bit delayed. Yeah, just 1 second. 1 second. Here we go. All right. But my apology. Okay. So we covered that. Then we explained the difference in how every business, whether you are offline or online, when it comes to online, you do have to understand when it comes to the search engine, you definitely have to understand the difference between the on page and the off page, right?
Right.
On page means anything and everything that is done on the back end of the website from a technical point of view and also from the user experience. When I say user experience, I'm talking about the content, the graphic, the design, the appeal, that kind of stuff. So that's called the on page. The off page, all the strategies that are done off of the website, like link building, content distribution somewhere else, content submission, all the other stuff that happens off of the website, and that also play a great role in terms of giving you some sort of ranking factor to help you to get basically the targeted traffic, to help you to get discovered, right? To help you to be found from other sources within the internet back to your website. Then we
Mm.
talked about why the voice search matter. This technology, I believe, came like around 2012. And as I mentioned, I mean, statistically, according to the Google's numbers, I mean, almost more than probably 50% going to use voice. What does that mean to business? That means if I'm going to build a digital marketing footprint, or if I'm going to focus on my website to attract those targeted audience and the customers, I have to understand how does the voice search system work, right? So we're talking about Alexa, Google Home, Siri, and whatnot. There are probably more than 8 voice search services out there. So the algorithm is a little bit different when it comes to the voice search. Okay. Then we talked about what are the 4 essential SEO principles. We talked about the authenticity. We talked about relevancy. We talked about authority, right? And man, I forgot the 4th one. So we can probably go back to the old videos for some of you folks. Then we went and talked about what are the Google factors. We did cover the on-page factors. We talked about the off-page factors. What is the keyword? How to do proper keyword research. Understand the concept of intention within the keyword. What's the difference between general key phrases and specific key phrases, transactional keywords, and so forth, right? Then we talked about how to do those research, what kind of tools we need to use out there, okay? Then there are other tools, the paid and non-paid version of the tools. Once you do the keyword research to understand how your target audience are behaving, what are they searching for, what are their intent, now you have to figure out and strategize, how can I distribute those keywords and the key phrases within my website and outside the website, like blogging within the website, or blog as a guest blog somewhere else, or distributing content on a different high authority site, like newspapers or government site or university site and so forth, right? Then we talked about what is the difference between the typical SEO we talked about and the local search engine. So the local search engine mainly focuses on Google My Business pages and the Yelp and whatnot, and it's mainly for the geofence or the geolocation-based brick and mortar businesses. How can they be visible? How can they be found, right? What do they need to focus on? Okay. And now today I'm going to talk about what is the Google algorithm updates. So typically this search engine, right, a lot of things, it goes through a lot of changes, a lot of update, a lot of new things. So the update usually happens within the Google search engine itself. So they might add a new feature, or they might remove an old feature, things that was working, I don't know, 8 years ago, but it doesn't work anymore, right? So you have to pay attention to what kind of updates Google releases. Now, where can you find that information? If you're a part of the Google Partner Program, or if you subscribe to the Google Webmaster Tool or Google Search Console, they will definitely release all the new updates. If you follow the Twitter account, they will also release those updates. Or better yet, to make things easier for you, Moz.com, basically, what they did, they're one of the most trusted site when it comes to the ethical practice of search engine, and they have all the updates, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share this link with you, bro, so you can put it in the group. And this link will show you month by month, or in several months, what kind of update they released, and what did that sort of update do? Because sometimes when Google updates, guess what? Even the website that you build according to their own policy, it can actually harm you too, right? But it will come back. It's not going to be like a huge negative effect, right? If it harms you for like a few weeks, it might come back, because sometimes they have glitches, right? So what I like about this link, that it talks about the update, what is it about, and whether this update confirmed or not. Because sometimes, I don't know if it's a rumor, or they just Google sometimes don't want to say anything, right? So this is a very great resource if you want to basically get into and figure out, okay, what was the update in 2019? What are all the updates in 2020? And of course, recently the 2021, that's kind of too early right now. But here it will show you what kind of update took place. Some of the updates are highly sophisticated. Like last year, there was this one update where the search engine right now, using the RankBrain, which is part of the artificial intelligence system, right? That the search engine right now is able to kind of understand your intent of the search, which is kind of crazy, but for me, it's also amazing.
Right.
So, for example, if somebody from Brazil right now, if somebody in Brazil looking for a visa, right, they're gonna go to the Google search, type, getting a visa to go to US, for example. The information that this individual will get, maybe like blog sites or videos, or all scattered information here and there. So this individual needs to dig in, a few more times to find that information, right? But now with this new update, what happens? So Google understands somebody from Brazil wants to come to the US and looking for a visa. The first information that this individual will get is the American embassy. that has all the information that they need. You see what's happening now? So I'm like, wow, this is crazy, because now the search engine is trying to understand the intent of your search, right? Kind of cool, but crazy at the same time, right? So that was one of the last updates that I heard last year. But if you go to Moz has all the recent latest update that has been released through Google, and you can see exactly what it is. When you click on the link, it will take you to the Google's webmaster tool site, a couple of Twitter conversation, and you can see exactly what's happening. Like whether it's a bug fix, index fix, whether it's an update on the glitch on the system itself. So, but this is very, very important, because businesses don't realize that they think SEO is just keyword, which is the most silliest thing to think about this stuff. But it's more than that, right? Because as the technology advances, whether it was devices or machines, same thing, the internet. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of amazing search engine experts, they constantly, keep with the update, and they make the changes, and they apply the changes on their clients. Even with our company, we apply these changes with our clients' website. The good news is that most of the update doesn't, in our experience, a lot of the update and the changes that took place did not harm most of our clients. Maybe like one or two. Even when they were harmed, within like few months, their website came back like what it's supposed to be, right? But as a company, we always have to kind of have this internal communication with Google about the update and what's happening, and even also external communication with our associates to see exactly, okay, when update came in, what happened, who got affected, who didn't get affected, right? Okay, what do we need to do to make sure that the client's not going to have any type of issue? The good news is most of the update, like if you look at the update, like the stuff that you've been doing for like, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, still the same, right? So those are good. Like the on page still working, right? This year, I'm going to do a session. I'm going to do a live streaming specifically on what are the things we need to look for when it comes to the update on the 2021. So I'm gonna do a different live streaming on that. So I'm gonna talk about the one that we've been already doing it, which is great, and the new things that we need to focus on. So that's it. That's the whole thing about the Google update.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, but just to give everyone a quick highlight, we still got 4 more parts to the series left. Next part, what is the best link building strategy? Followed by what are the types of links? Followed by why content matters.
Yep.
And to close it out, best free and premium SEO tools. Obviously, our previous series had to do with WordPress, and we talked about free and premium tools. So It's really good to know that there also are premium and free tools for SEO.
Yes.
I guess you kind of answered, or you gave a quick highlight. I was going to ask you, is there anything on the horizon this year, not related to Google, but SEO in general, something that's been rumored to come up for a while, or some new way of conducting SEO research or implementing SEO tools? I mean, I know you said you're going to have a new series for that, but just quickly, have you heard anything radically different or new?
A lot of the tool that I, especially the one we use, all the other that we saw is not a lot of major stuff. The stuff that I've noticed, based with my team, is that they're focusing heavily on the mobile again, and also the content. The content was a little bit kind of strange, because they're talking about content that lasts more than like 2,000 words. I don't know how we can how can we strategize that with different type of clientele. You know what I mean? But the AI, it's back again. The artificial intelligence, that's coming up. The voice, as I mentioned, the voice, that's when it's coming up. So there's going to be emphasis on the voice search more. So that means if you have a site, you got to focus on creating a frequently asked question page, right? You have to utilize different tools to make sure that is Alexa or Google Home able to pull your information so those customers can find you. You know what I mean? So, but it's advancing, man. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see exactly what's happening, especially with this so-called the pandemic. A lot of data also came up, and Google is trying to figure out, okay, what's going to happen to the technology, because a lot of businesses, believe it or not, they're doing things online, like through still even the gyms and the martial arts kind of businesses. They're still doing Zoom type of classes, and it's working so far. They talk about education, like online based. In fact, there's a very interesting. This might be a little bit controversial, but there's a really interesting link I'm probably going to share with you later. It's from the World Forum, right? There's an article. In fact, there's a full PDF talking about the new reset, where they're basically trying to force and digitize everything. Like, I know we're already in digital world anyway, but they want to make sure that every transaction now is 100% digitized through app, through mobile, through cryptocurrency and whatnot. So let's see what's going to happen, man.
So it looks like SEO is still
Oh yeah,
around, and nothing's changing. In fact, it might be getting a little bit more advanced. And
yes.
I think so. You're saying that the AI's involvement in SEO is increasing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what that's that's the crazy thing about it. I mean, the algorithm right now, it's especially when it tries to understand your intent. I mean, it makes it easier for the user to find
That's
what
what I
they
was
look
going to
for,
ask. Yeah,
right?
doesn't that mean that it'll be easier for us?
Well, that means going to be challenging for them. We have to figure out how to do that. But the second thing is the concept of data mining, because some customers have to look at this situation like, okay, so if Google understand what I'm looking for, those data are saved within the Google server system. So that's the probably is going to be concern for some folks, right? Like, oh, so now, because right now there's, as you talked about before, there's no such thing as privacy, whether it's on social or online. Even with the Google app and assistant and your mobile device, it understands exactly what you're trying to do, your activity, and that's why you get those ads through retargeted marketing, right? So from a marketing point of view, if I look at it from a marketing point of view, yeah, this is amazing. When it comes to like ethical point of view, some other belief system, it might be a little bit, it might be scary for some people, right? So we'll see how they're going to react to it.
It's interesting you mentioned the data mining because there's a guy that I knew in Chicago
Yeah.
who used to work out at the same gym, and he was developing, or he had developed an app, and essentially the app would allow you to monetize your data.
Wow.
That they're taking anyways, but it would allow you to sell it. So it would put a value on your data, and you would get compensated.
Nice.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
That's fascinating, man. Yeah, I would love to look at those sort of stuff. Fascinates me.
That's right. That's a very, very, very interesting concept. So
it is.
All right, fellas, quick. It was a quick program today, but we got into it, and we got 4 more episodes left. And then hopefully we'll be going on to our next series after that. So
yes, sure.
Do share, like, subscribe, give us comments and questions when you can, and we'll try to answer it next time.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Time.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Have a good evening, everybody.